After delving into narratives of severe judgments and dire warnings, let us shift our focus to a story that reveals an unexpectedly tender dimension of divine provision. The fourth episode arises in 1 Kings 17, where we find the prophet Elijah sustained by extraordinary means during a time of drought across Israel. Initially, ravens fed him bread and meat, but once the brook Cherith dried up, the Lord directed him to the town of Zarephath, where a widow would care for him. Here's the remarkable twist. This widow was extremely poor, on the verge of preparing her final bit of food for herself and her son, before resigning themselves to starvation. Elijah, however, implores her to first bake him a small loaf, assuring her that her supply of flour and oil would never be depleted. Just imagine the enormity of such a request. Logically, it sounds entirely unreasonable, yet the widow complied, and miraculously, day after day, the flour jar and oil container never emptied. What makes this story so intriguing is that it demonstrates God's inclination to work through the least likely resources. Why not guide Elijah to a wealthy family? Possibly because the Lord wanted to show that if we stand on His word, He can multiply even the smallest quantity of sustenance. This account intensifies when the widow's son dies, prompting Elijah to plead fervently, culminating in the boy's resurrection, a bold assertion that God wields authority over both provision and death itself. It's a powerful illustration of how unwavering faith and obedience can trigger blessings that defy human reason, even in the face of dire scarcity. This story urges us to trust in God wholeheartedly, despite how grim our circumstances may appear. When we align ourselves with God's purposes, He is able to make the impossible possible, transforming a handful of resources into an unending supply. Block 5. The Shadow That Moved Back. 10 Steps. Our next account challenges the boundaries of our most basic scientific assumptions.